Brazil are out of the World Cup at the hands of Erling Haaland. No, not Norway, but Erling Haaland scoring 2 to send Brazil home. One of the biggest upsets in this World Cup. But you have to consider Germany are already out. Cape Verde took Argentina right to the finish line. Welcome to it. There's so much to talk about. Of the 3 host countries, only one remains. My name is Andile Nguba. I've got 2 guys here that are going to be taking a look at everything that's happened in the World Cup so far as we lead up to now the semis, the quarters, and then finally the big one, the final. It's going to be at the New York Stadium where 2 NFL teams in New York play their football and 85,000 people can pack into that stadium. But to talk about all that, I've got Hlombo Kakana as well as Jabs and Jabu. Cape Verde versus Argentina, for me now, has been the best game of this World Cup.
Yeah, no. I know yeah, that game being in the language of Tando Miss. So it is you,
tell us something about Messi that you might not know. Yeah. Out of all the players, just over 400 players that played in the group stages, Messi came dead last when it came to how much ground was covered.
Yeah. But he has been like that, Messi, Mr. Ngube. If you look at this game and how he operates, he's a master of occupying spaces. Opportunistic.
Opportunistic.
No, but also he can read the game because I remember Pep Guardiola when he left to Bayern Munich. Bagibam interview on Messi. What in I become Mobi game my cala ngepasa. He will let all the players bamdlule, but actually he's scanning, he's checking ama opponents, ama defender, he's checking ama spaces la as was 7 after 15-10 minutes. That's when Umesu Ankala, because now Sega Ride Yonkinto, he knows where to move, he knows how to move, and he's also read the ama weaknesses or ama opponent. It's very key. Because amanyama player ngena je grounding, you don't even check umuntu okumakayo in first 10 minutes ukuthi u strong kuphi, unamadla kuphi. Uyadlala nje wena umuntu okumaka ngento eyi1 igame izophela. No, you need to make sure ukuthi you analyze your opponent so that nawe ukwazi ukumplanela, ukwazi ukuthi maka strong ngama tackle uyazi ukuthi lo mele ngil-receive before I figure,
oh man, there's going to be a lot to talk about, as you can see. Before that, a good friend of this room who hasn't been with us for a very long time, Mazola Molefe, is going to be joining us via, I think we're going to have him take him on and talk about all the news. He's all the way in America still. But Okala, Brazil's World Cup journey is over. What do you think was the biggest reason for their exit? Steve Kompela said last night that it's not the same Brazil. They're not playing that 4-4-2. They don't have that 10. They don't have a strong enough 9, a Romario, a Bebeto, a Rivaldo. And we could say that those were the 2 strongest positions. When you look at this Brazil, their winger is their strongest player. Hlombo, what do you think?
What did I tell you, Javas, the other day?
What's it?
Brazil will lose against Norway. He didn't believe me. And it was simply because the Brazilian team, they are playing the individuals, not the team. They've got individuals, which are very, very good. But when it comes to structure, they are horrible. They're conceding goals that they shouldn't be conceding in this level, World Cup. Against Morocco, they conceded in the spine. Big teams that win trophies, they don't concede like that. And Brazil showed us.
In fact, that spine straight through, they conceded both their goals they conceded.
That's why I said, I told him confidently so. Live on Mabaleng. I even said, they are going home. I told him.
We're going to get to that because we'll show you that and so much more. But firstly, let's go to the news making headlines. And this is Mazola, the Super Chero Molefe.
Yes, Andile, there continues to be some breaking news all the way here in America for the World Cup. And this with regards to coaches leaving their post left, right and center. It started with Sabri Lamouchi leaving Tunisia just after 1 match in the group stages, and it's continued with other coaches as well. And with Brazil getting knocked out, one does wonder whether Carlo Ancelotti will be able to hold on to his post. Breaking news confirmed, Carlos Queiroz resigning from his post with the Black Stars. As you know, the Africa Cup of Nations qualifiers will start in earnest. It's in September, and the Black Stars are then expected to have a new coach around that time as well. And then the next story brings us back home with regards to Kaizer Chiefs. This is a story that we've been following very closely. Renaldo Leaner, after surprisingly leaving Sekhukhune United on a free transfer following the missed deadline to trigger the option on his contract, Kaizer Chiefs pouncing quickly. We wrote a story on sabcsport.com that Renaldo Leaner had been offered a contract by Kaizer Chiefs, and the player, it was up to him to agree personal terms subject to medicals and all of that. We can tell you today, Renaldo Leaner has put pen to paper on a new contract at Kaizer Chiefs, and that's the breaking news, the latest. And it leads us to our very next story regarding Bontle Molefe, a young goalkeeper who went on loan to Leicester City in the Motsepe Foundation Championship, and the club feeling as though he needed more experience, more game time elsewhere. But he's come back, Andile, and this is what will happen. Bontle Molefe putting pen to paper on a new contract, and the club seeing him as the future, with some of their senior players in the goalkeeping department nearing the end of their contracts. Now, it's unclear when Chiefs will trigger the options, or maybe even offer Brendan Peterson a new contract. Will Fiacre Ntwari leave the club in the upcoming season, as Fernando da Cruz now has more options in the goalkeeping department, with Bontle Molefe having signed a new deal? That is the breaking news around Kaizer Chiefs movements at the moment. And now our final story is a big one. It remains to be seen how Mamelodi Sundowns are going to approach this one. We've touched on it a couple of weeks ago. Lucas Ribeiro, a free agent after leaving his Spanish club, but the dark cloud of that case around Mamelodi Sundowns and how he left, even though he still has 2 years on his contract. He claimed just cause that the club had multiple offers for his services after the Club World Cup, but would not release him or would not transfer him, and therefore he simply walked away and joined another club in Spain. That club was relegated and rendered him a free agent just officially a couple of days ago. I can tell you now that Al Ittihad Tripoli in Libya tabled the offer. Lucas Ribeiro accepted it in principle, you know, almost putting pen to paper, if you like. But this is subject to Mamelodi Sundowns, whether they win that case or not. And if they do, it could be a monetary fine to the player, or he could be ordered back to Tlorkop to rejoin them. We know that they've released Peter Shalulile, so there's an open space in terms of an attacker of the caliber of Lucas Ribeiro. So that is one we're going to watch closely, but I'm told that the player did agree personal terms to go and play in Libya, but that is subject to Mamelodi Sundowns and how the ongoing case at the FIFA tribunal pans out in the coming weeks and months.
Renaldo Leaner, he's let go from Sekhukhune, is how I understand this to be, but it doesn't matter whether he's let go or not. He moves from Sekhukhune and now at Kaizer Chiefs. Shombo?
Yeah, I see a goalkeeper that can improve. We always say, Jabu will tell you that goalkeepers, they mature with age. Leaner is still young. He can play for a team like Kaizer Chiefs where there's pressure games. I've seen him at Sekhukhune. This is a player that has improved so much from where I saw him the last time I saw him in the second division. So I've got no doubt that he's got potential to be a good goalkeeper.
But then what happens at Chiefs? You've got Fierce Ntwari, you've got Peterson, you've got Bruce Vuma, now he comes in.
Yeah, when you're a big team like Kaizer Chiefs, you need numbers, especially in that department, because remember when their number one goalkeeper last season got injured, they struggled some matches. They got Bruce Vuma, who came on and he made some huge mistake, and that costed themselves games. So they will need some backup when it comes to that department, because it's a very, very fragile position.
Mari backup go, Ntwari.
The three of them there.
Bangamkhulula for me Ntwari ayo zama somewhere, because I don't see him as a backup yaka Peterson to let to Peterson, but Ulena, I can see him competing no Peterson and pushing each other more than
and then Bruce.
More than Ntwari.
If you're saying Bruce is coming in that number 2 position, which is at the moment you would assume is Bruce.
Bruce is inconsistent. I told you opportunity.
Yeah.
When some mistakes are costly.
So they're all costly
team. Both. Actually, both. Between
because there's a young Bontle as well.
Yeah. Then if they've got a goalkeeper from the development, then for me now I can release Ntwari and uvuma.
Ribeiro, is he still accepted at Sundowns? Would Sundowns players, fans, I mean, I saw a lot of the players are still friends with him, but would he be accepted still at Sundowns? Is he needed at Sundowns? Is he wanted at Sundowns?
We loved the boy. We really loved the boy. He has done so much for us, and we all know that he's a good boy. Whatever he got in his head during the Club World Cup really spoiled the good thing, the good relationship between Sundowns and himself. But of course, one day we sit around the table and we shake hands, and I just hope if he wants to play for Mamelodi Sundowns again, he can maybe swallow his pride and come and accept that he was wrong. I don't think the club will really deny him to come and play for us again.
Well, I mean, it's a big issue. If you're in Europe, you're protected from the just cause clause, right? It shields you from Sundowns being able to do anything by law. But now he's left that Euro circuit. He's come into this Africa one, which is going to give Sundowns something to perhaps gnaw at here and its lawyers. But we'll see how this one comes out, because they've gone and won the Champions League without him. Do they still really need him? Peter Shalule, though, making an exit like what Mazola said. But that's it as far as the news is concerned. MVP then makes it stand. Who are you going with? The World Cup has given us plenty to talk about. I don't know who you're going with, but there's Haaland, there's Kane, and there's Mbappe. Justice League have gathered. Which one are you going with? Captain of your team. Who's it? Captain France, England, or Captain Norway? You choose. Would love to know from you who you're going with. Let's take a very quick break. When we come back on the other side, there's many matches to talk about. Heartbreak, some late night goals there, some early morning heartbreaks. People woke up to heartbreak, people slept with their hearts broken. The round of 32 providing all the drama. And that's when we started to see a lot of the African countries now falling off. We'll get to that. Firstly, out of all of that, Germany. A big surprise, Jobson?
Yeah, a big surprise, Germany to be knocked out to go last 32. Because in Germany, Germany always reaches semi-final or finals in each and every World Cup.
Because man play 6 Germany manje.
No, leya manje ayisekho mnandi kahle, but sengikhuluma vele ngeGermany siyaziyo ya previous. They will always finish semi or final. But Paraguay also they did well. Ukuthi laba babonile ukuthi laba bekho mnandi kahle. Paraguay ya capitalize, and Paraguay
they sold us dreams in terms of their performances, especially against Cote d'Ivoire, where they scored 2 goals in a space of 10 minutes. They were equalizing, and then they even scored a winner. I knew then that they can go far in the competition.
Unomasialo lapho number 10. Lemfana umnandi. Umasialo, I was expecting this World Cup because yes, because of eyakhe yes kufana nabo Olise. Uyabona Olise uphakamisa isandla ngale ku France. Bengitshele lokho, but I don't know about coach bayaphenika mabafika at that stage bese babeka your top player, your creative player, bese umcala ngaphandle, bese ufuna ukumfaka la sekunzima khona. So yamthemba manje I team mase trailer manje. So yamthemba manje. I don't understand.
Let's move on to the next one now. Netherlands. They were pitted, Michael World Cup, but there's top 3 teams abangay winner riding in France, Argentina, and Netherlands.
Netherlands bengazi ukuthi yophelele emoyeni. Netherlands they've got good plans.
Bazokuthembisa bayathembisa la. But they look like they can do something.
Yeah, well, that's it as far as Netherlands. The great hope of the Dutch there, not quite looking up. But it's Morocco, the African team that forges on. But I think we said this a little bit earlier. Mubuki World Cup ngendlela eyona njengamanje. Iqembu kuyilona elisinika umdlalo omnandi kudlula wonke. It has to be the Cape Verdeans. It has to be the goalkeeper Vozinho. It has to be this African team from a little island that believed. Have a look. Round of 32, going into the round of 16, going into the quarters, the semis, and the final is going to be something special because we've seen some amazing games. But before I go to this Argentina-Cape Verde game, because for me, the best game of the World Cup so far, the Cape Verdeans showed up. The Africans started falling off here. You saw Ghana fall off, Morocco, the only ones that made it through. You saw Senegal heartbreakingly fall off. All of these countries that were so happy with 9 made it from the group stages. Baqala bayahlika stuff manje.
Ilento ebengibuza uhlompo ngithi especially Senegal. ISenegal ingithe kakhulu. Yazi iCanada ngebafana bengihethekile mara laba bangithe kakhulu man.
Against Belgium, you're winning the match.
You consider 2 goals in 3 minutes. Hlompo, labantu ngibuza question. They play at kuma Italy, EPL. Badlala nabo labantu. But why when our African players mabaza kuma national team badlala against the Europeans?
He was coming out of he was coming out of the center line. Everybody was like, shoot, 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 shoot. You know what, that thing, you don't want to mark a striker. You feel like it's fire, you're lazy. So shoot, shoot, shoot. What's shy from outside? Sharper top con. And we fight in relegation. And because we said shoot, shoot, shoot. His teammates said, no, he's far. And he scored.
And the one exception, Morocco. No. You know what I mean? They're on ball. And it comes from being semi-finalists the last time, right?
Yeah.
Egypt, they've got a little something in them. Maybe they're playing for Mo.
Yeah.
And then the one team you would not expected against Argentina, all the odds against them. Yes, they went on and lost the match like everybody predicted.
Yeah. They don't defend. I think if football say yabonisa ukuthi Africa sesiya improve guys kancane kancane. Yes, I know ukuthi sinokuba harsh ukuthi we need to improve a lot of things, but let's give credit to his due. Cape Verde bonisile bafethu ukuthi there's no small countries anymore. We can be small ngama numbers and nge population ye country, but what matters most is 90 minutes, 11 v 11.
But also it's the dominance of the North African countries, isn't it? They dominate the Champions League, and that's just their local players, because at international level, it's not the players that we see at Champions League that are playing there. So not only do they dominate on the continent, the stars speak for themselves, but they're dominating in international as well. It's the power of the North African teams, because it's Egypt and Morocco that are through.
I think the advantage for them is their grassroots football helps them into the national team, because they've grown in a beautiful academies and teams that they've been coached very, very well. Come into the execution level, which is the big tournaments. They still have those things that they've been taught when they're young. So they defend better, they do things better. Even when in the scoring, they don't miss a lot. Whereas the southern part of Africa, this is where we're still struggling in terms of one opportunity, you can miss 3, and then you find out you score 1. So they don't miss a lot. They score goals.
But it's scary when you think about it, because the best players on the continent, right, are North Africans based on trophy winnings. And those players, a bulk of them, don't make it into the international teams. Have a thought about that. Hey, listen, the folks at Coca-Cola asked me to tell you that weekend, let's go! Because the FIFA World Cup 2026 is here. And you can catch big screens and bigger vibes at your nearest Coca-Cola fan park. But also, you don't want to miss out on this. Trust me. So follow Coca-Cola today on socials for the 411 and the tickets. Feel it all with Coca-Cola. We definitely felt it all over the wee hours of this morning. England versus Mexico. Of course, Mexico with all the fans because of the expectation that they could go further. Heartbroken when they were beaten. And Brazil, they're out. Shampo.
Hey. With no shock, I told Javas already that Brazil is not convincing. And it was not convincing. From the first match, I told you that big teams that win trophies, they don't concede the way they concede goals. And it's too easy to get into the last line. It's too easy to bypass their midfield. If you watch the match, how Odegaard enjoyed them, he was playing like a go training 5-a-side.
Yeah, and the identity, man, Brazilian football. Idlala njengale Real Madrid le ya Ancelotti manje. And Brazil ayidlali kanjani.
This team the Brazilian under Ancelotti, what they do, they like to go 1v1 because they're compensating, because the midfielder says they are playing with 2, Bruno Guimaraes and Casemiro. So once you stretch them apart, you open that the void in the midfield. That's what you saw the Norwegian. They didn't
played 3 in the middle.
They played in 3 midfield, but they didn't want to play there. They brought everybody into their half. They leave Gabriel and Haaland. They know that long ball, it traumatizes Gabriel. Gabriel, he's obsessed with wanting to bump Haaland. And Haaland likes that time of game. He loves it. He loves it.
Well, and then Neymar, you have to feel for him. This was his last opportunity to win a World Cup, to put him amongst the greats, because the thing that separates him from a Ronaldo, from a Romario, from a Pelé, he scored more goals than any Brazilian, right?
Yeah.
He's done it all, including the one thing that the others didn't achieve. He won an Olympic medal, but he doesn't have a World Cup.
Ntwana, I think ezinye izinto empilweni bayasho ukuthi you can't have it all.
Thank you.
And because of Uzela abuya ku injury for a long time, he was not match fit. He was not gonna play at that intensity. And Ancelotti he's a calm coach, relaxed, umnando Ancelotti. Wazile uNeymar sikwazi ukumlahlela nje because asithi uyamlahlela kula ma first game lawe. Jobi iBrazil be struggle bese iyaqhaqheka injury iba worse. So bekumele bammanage kahle, but for him to have him in the squad, you know, it was a positive thing to have he's a senior player, because I saw him in a game, the last game when halftime, there was a time halftime Ayagulo Mfano Urayat, the 19-year-old winger. The last game in Brazil, mabaphume talent unema uya kule ntwana uyambona ukuthi uring is Grootman uthi ntwana bathathe, enjoy your game, be free, you can do it, ungabathatha ingane ejimini nabo yabawisa abo Gabriel, why ungayenzi lento le. So in terms of that, bekane influence, but obviously influence yakhe it's more on the pitch, and he was not ready for this World Cup, unfortunately.
Has this experiment of Ancelotti failed at a Brazilian level? Do they need to get a Brazilian to come back and lead them again, who's going to reinstate that jersey number 10, but also that position 10, the 9 up front as well? Are we going to have a big Brody striker? We'll have to see how it pans out.
Last go
yeah.
30 to 60. I guess in the history of Brazil, team dominates Brazil. Brazil been 30%, guys.
Oh, you mean position football?
Position football. Mina ngaze ngayibona mhlambe Chelsea nina nike nayibona. Mina ngaze ngayibona.
We'll talk about it more when we come back.
Se fane hana nako ho hanga ba mo hlasela ba sa tswa mo hlasela jalo ka hanga di benye ba ntsha ya sehlopha sa TUT jalo ka ha inele huku e tlositswe jalo ke yena Phonka di benye
looking to make an impact in the second half as the ball is delivered a good header. That's the equalizer. Fantastic moment by Ramatlaotle.
Ke bolo e lwantshwa jalo ke Thailand. O finyana fela le dipalo eba bolo e hleng ile bobebe haholo ka o fetisisa no Mbuso Malesa re kena sentse re dumedisa nnete mafolofolo ka lebellang ha o kopane dihlopha tsena tse pedi ke bua jalo ka Sundowns ladies jalo ka ba leka jwalo Ludwig a otla jwalo a hlile a phepetsa Thandeka Ngobo o tlile ka letshwele Raya jwalo Karabo a iraela haufinyana fela le dipalo tsa Mamelodi Sundowns wetsa brace ya hae tsatsing la kajeno Isabella Ludwig hlabantlha bobedi ya lepapadi e kale fatshe se tluile jwalo Lokolo Tesane o shebane hantle le dipalo jwalo ka ha etsa tlhaboraro ya stopper sa Banyana ba style a re chisa.
And a little bit of jersey tagging. Hlanhla Mthandi, there's that ball through. Yes, Magia! Sundowns 4. That is exactly what the coach wanted. Tabiseng Magia gets onto the score sheet.
Yena Geneva Jafta ke mongwa dibapadi tse leng hore di haufinyana haholo le Robin Kotsia ho etsa bonnete ba hore ha o be le bohlaswa bo pepeneneng. Bona jwalo a santsa leka ho leka keto bantla ya sehlopha sa Deep Kloof Ladies kwa jwalo huku ya Deep Kloof Ladies empa Robin le haelo re o ne a lekile jwalo re a itshireletse e bantla ya bobedi ya Deep Kloof Ladies khala e batla Lorraine Magwadi.
Zambia, South Africa and Malawi will fly the flag of the COSAFA regions at the tournament. Delightful ball. Here's Michaels! Nicole Michaels is not to leave this pitch without scoring a goal.
The Hollywood Bet Super League continues even during the World Cup. Many are tuning on to SABC Sport to watch this. Trumpo, these are the results. And of course, it's different this season. It's the first time that we're seeing it in segments.
Yeah, you're gonna love the ladies' football now in terms of how they've regroup their league. They've got this we called festival of games. Yeah, they play from Friday until Sundays. But what I like about this is they're playing from one field, and that excites them because you can be able to watch other matches the following day. But the JVW team is something that we need to look at them because they've got players that are playing in the national team under Desiree Ellis. They've got players that they've scored. There's Elgado girl who can't stop scoring. The veteran striker in Bongiwe Tusi who has scored so many goals for them. So they've got players who can score for JVWC. But of course, they are the team that always pushes Mamelodi Sundowns back.
No, Mina quickly. Dupkloof ladies.
I'm happy for them.
Getting two win against Stellenbosch. Yeah. That's the highlight of my weekend, Hollywood.
Let's take a quick break. When we come back on the other side, it's time for goodbye. Performances that you enjoy the most. Jabson, Ilian Helan getting close to 41. Hurricane and Mozo.
Hurricane at our first time. No. And based on Lama goal Lawanji, we MVP. I think he could like Ilin Swim or Hurricane. But yeah, well done to Mbappe. Well deserved. Actually, all of them they deserve, but obviously we needed to choose one. So
and what's ridiculous about Hurricane, 72 goals this season.
Yeah.
And he continues to score because this is still part of the season.
The season, yeah.
I heard when Rooney speaks about him that he's actually a better finisher than him. And
he scored more goals.
He scores more goals. And I told you about them and us. He mastered the art of scoring goals. He doesn't want to come into the midfield and try to do stuff. Although at Bayern Munich, they allow him to come into the midfield. Yeah. He still come into the box and score more than anybody else who lives in there.
Well, let's take a look at what it looks like as far as the goal scorers are concerned. Lionel Messi, of course, sitting atop the charts alongside Kylian Mbappe. Harry Kane is there with the 6 goals. Erling Haaland is there as well. He's scoring goals. It's an incredible because Erling Haaland, of all the goal scorers, he's played less games, Jabson.
Yeah, I think 2 games less or
he
one.
Played a game less.
Yeah, one game.
He set out the France game.
Yeah, but he's a goal poacher. He's not a player who also involved in action, la paparazzi. He doesn't run a lot. But now once you service him well, he's gonna do the business for you. And unfortunately, Uguti, I don't think in a way they can go all the way to the final in terms of golden boots. But so far, he's putting his hand and...
So what you're saying is it's Messi versus Mbappe and perhaps Harry Kane because Vinny's gone.
No, Vinny's gone. Yeah, I think Messi and Mbappe
again
yizo abazoyiphusha mara nayi Argentina nomara lapho ukuthi bazofika na ku final engisho ngabo iFrance ukuthi uMbappe uzobadlula bonke even uMessi by the end of this World Cup.
Chavas, that Haaland guy will score against England happy. And if he will go to that level,
I feel final.
Oh, I can't speak to final, but you know England.
Final.
What do you England?
Yeah, bangayishi angikho mnandi kahle mara ku final angeke afike.
Okay, no bona final abafiki. But
bayosha ndaba mara la.
Laphayana uMbappe uzoba laphayana.
Yeah, Mbappe uyaya.
Na uMessi angavela ngoba unokuvela unamaqhinga okuvela lapha agcina afike ku final. But it's incredible to see top players and scoring goals. And baqhubeka from la bayenza khona bakora khona ama goal from the club level, because if big players they don't score goals in big tournaments izobhora.
Well, I mean uMessi motuna maqhinga, he's going through this one, or is Mo Salah going to get the better of the 2 10s that face each other in Argentina versus Egypt in the next game?
No, they've got no chance, the Egyptians, in terms of...
No chance?
Yeah. Simply because of how I saw them defending against who were they playing? Against Netherlands. They played, yeah, I think they played again. But they didn't defend so well, and I was not convinced with how they defended. Oh, Switzerland, sorry. That's how they played. And I felt if you could defend the way you defended against that team, you need to make sure that you're better. But they've got attack. Let's be honest, Mamouche, Mo Salah, they've got Ashwa, they've got another one who plays in Spain called the left footer guy. He's good, and if they do that, of course, if they take care of the back door, because that's where they're leaking goals.
Messi. Messi.
Thank you so much for joining us. He's Jabs Jabu Matangu. He's Captain Hlompo Keganam Andy Ngube. Hey, pera. Good night.